Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Paige Bueckers?
Well, she's a
Stop whatever you're doing right now. I'm serious. Put the phone down. Turn the volume up. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't a headline, isn't a tweet, isn't a harmless little podcast clip. This is TE moment the biggest lie in modern women's sports finally collapsed. For 3 straight years, we were sold a narrative, a multi-million-dollar marketing fantasy, pushed by networks, advertisers, social media armies, and league executives. They fed it to casual fans. They fed it to diehards. They fed it to anyone willing to listen. And today it died. Not because of an insider leak. Not because of some investigative journalist. But because Paige Bueckers herself walked into a podcast studio, sat down, and detonated the entire script. The establishment is in panic mode right now. Producers are rewriting segments. Marketing departments are shredding campaign plans. Because the so-called civil war they promised you, the rivalry they hyped, the drama they milked, it was all fake, manufactured, engineered, and now exposed. The script they force-fed us. This plan didn't begin yesterday. It didn't begin when Caitlin Clark entered the league. It started years ago, back in college, when the machine decided women's basketball needed a war to sell. On one side, Caitlin Clark, the sniper, the phenomenon, the record breaker. On the other, Paige Bueckers, the smooth tactician, the comeback icon, the stylish superstar. They wanted Bird versus Magic 2.0. They wanted a blood feud. They wanted fan bases at each other's throats. They wanted you to pick a queen and defend her like your life depended on it. And for a long time, it worked. Every side eye, every clip, every caption, fans analyzed it like it was a clue in a murder mystery. But then came the interview, the podcast that broke the matrix. The hosts tried to bait Paige. They wanted tension. They wanted pettiness. They wanted the soundbite that would light up social media. Instead, Paige took a flamethrower to the entire narrative. She didn't dodge the question. She vaporized it. Her exact message? We're cool. We're friends. That's it. That single sentence just cost the marketing machine millions. Not, we respect each other. Not, we compete hard. Friends. One word that instantly erased an entire industry-crafted storyline. And she wasn't done. She revealed that the players know exactly what the media is doing, how networks try to pit them against each other for clicks and chaos. She basically admitted that while fans fight in the comments, she and Caitlin are probably texting each other laughing at the insanity. The establishment hates players who think for themselves. They hate players who can't be manipulated. They hate players who refuse to play the villain. And Paige just broke character on live camera. The real truth, not enemies, but allies. Here's the terrifying part. If Clark and Bueckers aren't rivals, they're allies. And that should terrify every national team in the world. Because now the entire basketball universe has to consider something they never prepared for. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers in the same backcourt. Clark dragging defenders to the logo with her gravity. Paige slicing defenses apart with elite vision and surgical mid-range. This isn't a duo. This is weapons-grade basketball destruction. France? Done. Australia? Finished. Spain? No chance. If these two link up, the game is over before it begins. This is the alliance the rivalry narrative tried to hide from you. They wanted chaos. Instead, Paige handed us clarity. The real reason they sold us a lie. Cause hatred sells. Conflict sells. Pick a side sells. Nuance. Respect. Friendship. Maturity. Those don't trend. The media didn't want you to love both players. They wanted you to believe only one could shine. That reatness is a cage match. It's the same trick they used with Messi versus Ronaldo, Manning versus Brady, Nike versus Adidas. But this generation isn't falling for it. These women grew up inside the algorithm. They've seen every form of online toxicity since high school. They are immune to it. Paige choosing honesty over chaos wasn't weakness. It was power. She starved the entire rivalry of oxygen. She told the trolls their fantasy fanfiction is dead. So what now? Now, we watch clear-eyed basketball. No fake rivalry. No forced villain arcs. No scripted grudges. Just two generational talents rising at the same time, redefining what women's basketball can be. And the scariest part? This is just the beginning.
I'm going to be honest. Paige Bueckers well and truly has given ammo to, the biggest Paige Bueckers.
When Dallas faces Indiana this season, we're not tuning in to hunt for cheap shots. We're not dissecting awkward handshakes or replaying slow-motion clips to fuel fake drama. We're watching two generational talents perform at their absolute peak. We're watching basketball in its purest form, tactics, adjustments, coaching battles, and brilliance unfolding in real time. Paige Bueckers just handed the sport a gift: permission to appreciate both stars without choosing sides. She freed the fan base from the prison of false loyalty. You don't have to be Team Caitlin or Team Paige anymore. You can finally be Team Basketball. But don't confuse friendship with softness. Real competitors, true competitors, go harder at each other than enemies ever do. When you respect someone, you want to beat them at their strongest. You want to look your friend in the eye and say, "I was better today," then grab dinner together afterward. That's Jordan and Barkley. That's Bird and Magic in their later years. Competition born from love for the game, not hatred for the opponent. And ironically, that level of competition creates better basketball, not drama, art. The establishment is panicking because they've lost control of the script. They poured millions into selling you a wrestling storyline, and the combatants just hugged in the middle of the ring. Now the league and the networks are scrambling for a new angle. Frankly, they should be thanking Paige. The hate storyline has an expiration date, but excellence lasts forever. If the WNBA is smart, they will market Paige and Caitlin as dual pillars, the twin engines elevating the sport. But we know the media. They're predictable. They'll try to twist Paige's words, claim she was being polite, imply she's hiding something. Don't fall for it. We saw the clip. We heard the tone. Paige wasn't hesitating. She wasn't posturing. She was issuing a public service announcement. She dismantled the scripted reality show and replaced it with the actual documentary. And it's about time. Fans have been disrespected for years, treated like children who require a villain to stay engaged. But we're smarter than that. We can appreciate the different flavors of greatness. Caitlin's logo threes are electricity. Paige's mid-range artistry is pure poetry. Why limit ourselves to one? This moment will be remembered as a turning point. Years from now, when they make a documentary about this era, they'll point to this interview as the day players seized the narrative for themselves. Player empowerment isn't only about trades or contracts. It's about owning your story, your identity, your humanity. Paige refused to be the villain in Caitlin's arc. She refused to be the victim in her own. She chose to be the protagonist. And in doing so, she lifted Caitlin with her, reminding everyone that behind the hype machine is just another hooper who loves the game as much as she does. So to the networks, the bloggers, the click chasers, your game is over. Your manufactured war has been canceled due to lack of participation from the stars. And to the fans, wake up, enjoy this. We are witnessing greatness. Two icons building the foundation for the next 50 years of women's basketball, not as enemies, but as parallel forces shaping the future. The next time you see a headline designed to pit them against each other, ignore it. Laugh at it. Remember this moment. Remember Paige's line that rewrote the entire narrative. We're cool. We're friends. 6 simple words that carried the weight of a revolution. The rivalry is dead. Long live the game. Long live the alliance. And God help anyone who has to face Team USA in 2026, because the chemistry we're about to witness will be nothing short of biblical. This is the new reality. Accept it or get left behind. Your move.